I've been studying the First Amendment, the free speech, and we're not using it enough. We are not using our First Amendment constitutional right. Where is the outcry about just two of many? Let's talk about antebellum. Now, this is before a war. Before a war, especially the American Civil War. Now, I always say this. I believe we are still living with the antebellum mindset. Now, my point is before a war in this country, African American. I'm going to talk a little bit about this man that I met on this dating site. And he was telling me about how he goes to church. And he goes to church because it makes him want to be a better man. So, okay. And that, and then he asked me, "Do you believe in the Lord?" I said, "What do you mean? Do you believe in God?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course. I believe in the Creator because I know we just didn't just, appear out of thin air. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe in Jesus." And then he going to say, well, it can be confusing, that Jesus is God and the Spirit is all one and Jesus can't. I said, "Well, you know what? I'm not confused. I'm going to tell you that now. I am not confused. Um, a lot of people hear this, and you know what happens? It goes way over their head, and they're scared to look into it. They're scared to comprehend it or do research on it because you're saying that the God, I mean, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit is all the same, but they're separate. Uh, God put His Spirit into Mary so she can have a son of God that grows up to be an adult and give his life for all mankind. Okay, that's what you say. Okay, there's no proof of that, of course. You just have to believe. It has in uh, John 10:23, I think it is, that whoever don't believe in Jesus will not have everlasting life. Um, I have this book. I got this book. The book your church doesn't want you to read, and I know plenty other books that talks about the Bible. And I'm like, no, it's not confusing. It's just downright stupid. Somebody gonna give me this, try to get me to understand by giving me this analysis. Okay, you are a mother, a daughter. I can't remember the other one. The wife, sister. You are all. You're three things, and um, but you're one person. But you have. But see, that's dumb. That means um titles that you can go by. Because if you was to meet me, you wouldn't know that I'm a. Well, of course, you know I'm a daughter, but you wouldn't know if I'm a wife or a mother unless I tell you. And I can't separate the one from the other, because when you meet me, you are meeting the wife, the daughter, and the mother. And even if I lose my child, I'm still going to forever be a mother. So I don't know where they got that scenario from, because that doesn't work. And let me say, um, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but they need to, because of all the ills that's going on in this world, and you keep constantly hearing about, oh, the price of this is going up, the price of living is going up, oh, we can't afford housing, oh, we can't afford our gas and electric and our rent and our food. People are going hungry. I'm like, well, y'all just shut up. That's been a lifelong, that's been a forever, long as country, as long as it's been the United States, that's been a problem for some people. It's always been some people that can't afford a decent pair of shoes or a decent pair of clothes. I hear people talk, especially the older ones, I hear them talking about how they was like 9 years old before they got uh, a new dress. And you know that is not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But you know, you want to talk about all this stuff about the gas is going up, the food is going up. Well, why don't you um live among your means? You can't get stuff on sale. You can't go to the thrift store. You can't go to Family Dollar and do your groceries. Okay? And if the gas is too high, well, you need to ride a bus or find your job that's closer by. Because if you're going 30, 40 minutes away for your job, uh, they must be paying some good ass money. But if we want to get mad at somebody, get mad at these churches. The churches own $81 billion worth of tax exempt real estate in Texas and $1.3 billion in Los Angeles County alone. Consider the prime real estate owned by them in New York City, Chicago, Boston, and in every state. And people that got hip to it that they can go get online and get a certificate to be a preacher and call their home a church. All they gotta do is get a few people, a couple friends, yeah, I got these people coming, have lot of sermons, have some sermons, and now their house is tax exempt. Okay. And all this real estate that's being tax exempt can be helping people get cars that they need to go to work or pay their rent or even make good jobs. And this real estate, it could be some affordable housings could be built on these church lots. And these high living religious people pay no taxes on any of that property or the income that is generated on those properties. Oh, wow. And we're mad. We're mad because and then they get mad. And that's another talking point that people use when, especially the Republicans, they use that all the time to get votes, thinking that they're going to make things better, and they never do. That's a talking point that they've been using for 50 years, and stuff still go up. Okay, talk to some of us who used to pay 99 cents for a gallon of gas for years, not just during a pandemic. And they complained about that. But what did they do? Nothing. What can you do? Because for one thing, the oil fineries and the oil people, they got it showed up. They could raise it anytime they want to. Because you know why? Because they know we need gas. And we will pay for it. And we will complain and pay for it. Complain and pay for it. And then what makes it so bad, they are contributing to the climate change and all the pollution. And they are making rabbit on people's lands where they live. Now, okay, in volume 12 of the American Law and Procedure, page 180, this assessment sums up the problem. Tax exemptions. It may be argued with much force that the exemption of certain property from taxation is equivalent to assisting it by public taxation to the extent as other property must pay somewhat more in consequences. Where the property example is that of class rather than of individual, the question really becomes one of proper classification or purposes of taxation, rather than as to a public purpose. The two run into each other. However, as where a constitution forbids state aid to any church or religious sect, the payment of money derived from taxation to a church is certainly invalid under this provision. But tax exemptions of the property of churches and religious bodies are almost everywhere upheld. Probably because that these exemptions have generally been made. And they really have us fooled thinking that these churches are somewhat separated from the state and that churches are helping the community. That's why you have a lot of churches that have food banks, okay? Because if you have a food bank, you can be considered helping the community. But you know what they're doing? They're helping themselves. Because I'm going to tell you about these food banks. These people that run these food banks, most of that stuff is going in their house. I know it. Because my mother church had a food bank. And you would go into her house and it would be packed, even though it's only two of them. The house would be packed with canned goods and all kind of stuff that came from the food bank. Why? Why would you stack your house up with all that food bank stuff when it's only you two? And you don't even eat that much. So expert legal opinions is that the tax exempt status of churches is illegal. We have simply allowed tradition to replace valid law. So really, this is just really tradition, not law. And they really make it hard when you have all these churches that are always got their hands in some kind of political stuff. So they're not really separate from the church, separate from the state. So, and then you have a lot of Christianity is determined to wipe out many of our freedoms. This is a serious threat. Now that's going on right now. Now, believe me, This book was written back in 2003. And you see what's going on with these Christians? They have literally start taking away our rights. They done already overturned Roe versus Wade. So now abortion is and all the other medical health care is being stripped, and they want to do more. And it's these Christians that's doing that. Yeah. It's the Republicans that are trying to appease all these evangelicals and these Christians and these Jews. And now we have this ongoing war between the Jews and the Palestinians. Oh, it's crazy. And they making all this money and keeping up all this chaos, and they doing it all tax free. You know how much taxes that state would get with all those religious buildings? And they know how to do it. They could buy a building and call it a church or something. And because they have combined their efforts and organized into a powerful voting bloc. Yeah. All those Christians get together and say, "Oh no, we ain't voting for you because you accept abortion." And then there you go. They have tied up so many senators and representatives having their own religious lobbying groups that it has been next to impossible to enforce any kind of tax laws or tax violations against them, allowing them to continue to gain in power with unlimited funds. Okay? So, and it's hard to do that because most black people want to be looked at as a Christian. Okay? Because most of the black people live in these so-called Bible belts, and it's something that really makes them feel powerful when they can say, "I go to church, I have a preacher," and they believe in Jesus. So that makes them very powerful, very worthy, and they will literally vote the Christian values that are really the worst thing for us. Because whenever they start taking away your right to live your life and treat your body the way you want to treat it, it's bad. Just like they're going after these transgender kids and transgenders and the other people that want to live different. Oh, I mean, playing from fire tablets. But it's all right for you to go out and kill and maim and steal. Thank you for listening, and live for the future. Please subscribe and comment. We have to keep this going. We have to do something to we gotta block these Christians.